Hello everyone and welcome to this week's SportPesa Mega Jackpot predictions for 5th February 2026. I have today tried my best to post this early so that those who have been complaining that the postings have been made late, sometimes due to inevitable reasons, you will have an ample time to check, analyze, and compare with what you consider to be the correct predictions. Now, I want to apologize for the midweek jackpot prediction. I posted it very late. In fact, the video was ready, but the time, starting time for the games was fast approaching. So I was forced to just post a summary of the predictions in the post sections. It wasn't a video; it was more of a post. But today, I believe everything will be well. And as we analyze this week's games. Now, the MJP prizes are as follows. For MJP 17, we have 115 million. MJP 16, we have 124 million. MJP 15, we have 93 million. MJP 14, we have 26 million. And MJP 13, we have 13 million. Now, today we will also go into details because in the past, people or commenters or some of you have wanted to understand the reasoning behind the predictions, which is a fair point because what's the difference between an analyzed jackpot and somebody simply waking up and guessing, the outcomes? So I have in this video decided to go deeper. I'll try to see or explain the reasons or the reasoning behind every choice where possible. In some cases, the choice is just hard and you simply just settle on it either because of your own preference or feelings. And it's okay because anything can happen in these games. So don't be too much tied on a specific reasoning. Always be flexible. Anything can happen, and that's why jackpots are never won because hundreds of thousands of people are betting, or at least tens of thousands are betting each week, but they don't win for a reason because it is just sometimes hard to predict exact results. Now, for match number 1, AFC Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. Here, Aston Villa has won 67% of their last six matches, and they have won 4 out of 6 away games in all competitions. So since they are away here and they have a good record of winning away games, plus also with these odds, AFC Bournemouth 2.75 and Aston Villa 2.48, it means AFC Bournemouth has about a 35% chance of winning, and Aston Villa has 40% chance of winning. But one interesting thing is that with these particular odds, AFC Bournemouth has been performing poorly. So even though it is 36% possible to win, it has actually been winning 25% whenever it has similar odds. And for Aston Villa, whereas it's predicted that about 40% chance of winning, it has actually been winning 50% of the times it is given such odds. And therefore, for this reason, we are settling on Aston Villa. So away win. Match number 2, Real Zaragoza versus SD Eibar. Now, with these odds, Real Zaragoza 2.6, it is predicted that it wins about 35% of the times. And for SB Eibar, it wins about 40% of the times whenever given these odds. That's what it means, or that's what the odds mean. But in reality, with these odds, Real Zaragoza actually wins 53%, whereas SB Eibar is expected to win 40%, but it actually wins 13%. And therefore, with that reasoning, we are saying that indeed it is highly likely that Real Zaragoza will win, and therefore here you settle on 1. For those who like double chances, you may consider draw here. You may consider draw here as well. But remember, in our slip, we just include 1 game or one outcome for each game. Match number 3, Aberdeen FC versus Motherwell FC. Aberdeen FC is 7th place in the league, and Motherwell is 4th place. So this generally means Motherwell maybe has performed better than Aberdeen so far in their leagues. But for the record, Motherwell has won 5 out of 6 of the last games. So it has won 5 matches out of the 6 matches they have played. And one interesting thing is that it tends to score fast whenever they play against Aberdeen, and Aberdeen tends to concede fast whenever playing against Motherwell. And therefore, a combination of these factors, plus the fact that the odds are favorable and they are 4th place, we believe Motherwell will win. Now, match number 4, Cadiz CF versus UD Almeria. Now, for, Cadiz is number 11, and UD Almeria is at the 4th position. With these odds, 2.65, it is expected that Cadiz will win 36% of the times, but it performs poorly. It actually wins 27%. And UD Almeria, with these odds, it is expected to win 45%, but it also performs poorly with these odds and wins 30%. For that reason, both teams tend to perform poorly when given these odds, and therefore they may be equal. So consider draw here. Consider draw as the preferred outcome. Match number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Match number 5, Deportivo Alaves versus Getafe CF. So Deportivo Alaves has won 7 out of 13 home games, and Getafe has lost 3 out of 6 away games. Therefore, everything here, and consider these odds, Deportivo Alaves, it means it has 43% chance of winning, but in reality it wins 50%, so it wins more. And Getafe, with these odds, means it has about 26 chance of winning, and it indeed wins 26% of the times with these odds. And therefore, in this case, this highly likely that number 1 will win or home team will win. So consider a home win. You may consider draw for those who like a double chance. You may consider draw. Match number 6, Real Valladolid versus CD Castellon. Real Valladolid is 17th. CD Castellon is at 2nd position. With these odds, there's a possibility that Real Valladolid wins 35%, but in reality it wins 20%, so it performs poorly. And then with these odds, CD Castellon is predicted to win 40%. In reality, it wins 45%, which makes it a preferred. It tends to win same range it has been given, even though Real Valladolid has won more head-to-head in the last 5 games. So it's a tricky point here, whereby when the two meet, Real Valladolid has won more, But you see, sometimes football don't care about the past, we care the current form. So here, we're going to settle on away win. Match number 7, US Lecce versus Udinese Calcio. US Lecce or whatever is 17th position, Udinese is 9th position. Now, probabilities. With these odds 3.05, it is predicted that US Lecce has 30% or 35% of winning, but in reality they win 30%. And on the other hand, Udinese is 40% chance, but in reality it wins 70% of the times. Therefore, I can confidently say Udinese will win here. Game number 8 or match number 8, Konyaspor versus Goztepe Izmir. Now, for match number 8, that Konyaspor is in the 14th position, and then Goztepe is in the 4th position, meaning generally Goztepe has performed better so far in the league compared to Konyaspor. Now, with these odds, Konyaspor is predicted to have 35% chance of winning, and they actually win 35% of the times. So it seems the odds here are actually pointing to what they normally do. However, Goztepe Izmir, with these odds, is predicted to win 40%. That it will win, 40% it will win. But in reality, it actually wins 55% of the times. 55%. Therefore, we consider it a favorable in this, and the fact that they are 4th position in the league, consider that as 2. Therefore, we have 1, 2, 2, 2. For match number 7, US leg, you may consider draw, even the odds suggest that. So just have that in mind. Match number 9, 10, 11, and 12. Match number 9, with these odds, Bohemian is expected to win 45% of the time, but they perform poorly. They win 32%. And then St. Patrick's Athletic is expected to win 35% of the times, and it performs worse, that it wins only 12%. This means for match number 9, both teams perform poorly, and therefore you may consider a draw as the most likelihood. Or for those who like, you consider a home win also as a possibility. Match number 10, AD Ceuta versus Cordoba CF. AD Ceuta is 10th in the league position standing, and then Cordoba is 7th. Now, AD Ceuta or AD Ceuta, with these odds, is expected to win 40%, but it actually wins 30%. And then 7th placed Cordoba is expected to win 40%, but it tends to win only 25%. So both teams underperform when they're expected to perform at with these odds, and therefore I consider them to be equal in weakness. And therefore, match number 10 is a strong draw. It's a strong draw. Match number 11, Angers or Angers SEO versus Toulouse. Angers, with these odds, Angers being number 11 in the league, Toulouse being number 8. With these odds, Angers, is predicted to win 30% of the times, but in reality they win 40%, so they win 10% more. And Toulouse, with these odds 2.29, is expected to win 45% of the times, but somehow they tend to perform poorly. So because of that, and the fact that Toulouse performs poorly with these odds, and today is away, I consider that it will still continue performing poorly, and whoever is at home improves, and therefore 1 is a possibility. And just SEO, 1 is reality. But also consider anything can happen here. For those who like a double chance, away may also happen. which makes this jackpot, tricky. Match number 12, AJ Auxerre versus Paris FC. Match number 12, that is AJ Auxerre is number 17th, and then Paris FC is 14th. So these are teams that are, in the last, the last third, the last third of their league. So with this, with these odds, Auxerre is expected to win 40% of the times, but it does very poorly. It wins simply only 15%. So when given 2.55, we expect to win 40% of the times, but it only wins 15% of the times. And then Paris FC is expected to win 35% of the times, and it actually wins 35% of the time. Therefore, for match number 12, consider Paris CF. Those who may like, consider draw as well. Match number 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Liverpool FC versus Manchester City. Now, this is a tricky one. To be honest, these popular teams tend to be confused, and especially both teams are really, fighting for the top spots in the EPL, or at least to be among the top 4-5. So it may go anyway. Man City has been performing, has had some setbacks in the recent past, and therefore match number 13. Anyway, Liverpool is predicted to win 40% whenever it has these odds. But something amazing, it wins 70% with these odds. Man City, for this record, I don't have it, and therefore I'm backing Liverpool here because it performs so well given these odds and the fact that they're at home, they may do wonders here. So if I bet this game, I will bet on 1. You may also consider draw, or in my case, I may even choose not to bet on such games. Match number 14, HNK Rijeka versus GNK Dinamo Zagreb. Now, HNK Rijeka is 5th, and then GNK Dinamo is 1st. It is the first, it is the leading. That automatically it means it's a very tough team. It is not there by, by mistake. Anyway, what do the odds say? Whenever given these odds, HNK Rijeka is expected to perform poorly to win only 30%. But something happens that they actually win 50% of the times. So even though they're going to win 30%, they actually win 50%. Now, GNK Dynamo, on the other hand, with these odds, it is expected to win 50%. They actually just win 45%. Well, not bad. 50 and 45 is not, there's no much difference. But now we look at the current form. GNK, is number 1. So despite performing relatively poorer with these odds compared to the expectation, we will consider them the winner here, and therefore away win or 2. However, for those who like double chance, you may consider the reality that HNK Rijeka sometimes surprises, big teams. Match number 15. Pafos FC versus AC Omonia Nicosia. Now, Pafos is 3rd in the league. Omonia is 1st in the league. This, the last 4 games, SportPesa here, they really have pushed us to a wall. This can go anyway, to be too honest. 14, 15, 16, 17 can go anyway. Yeah, if you can avoid betting this action, do it, but they can go anyway. So 14, okay, match number 15, that is Pafos FC and Omonia Nicosia. Now, here I'm settling with Pafos. After analyzing, I seem just settled on Pafos. because they won their previous encounter, and yeah, the odds favor them today, meaning they tend to perform better. Match number 16, Yellow Red KV Mechelen versus Royal Antwerp FC. With these odds, Yellow Red is expected to win 40% and they actually win 40%. Now, Royal Antwerp with these odds is expected to win 40%, but they actually win 20%, so they perform poorly. Now, they perform poorly and they're at way. No, they won't perform today. You're starting with one. However, because things happen, consider draw if you want to. Match number 15, you can as well consider a away win. Match number 15, you may consider a away win because, as I said, it can go anyway. Match number 17, MSV Duisburg versus SC Val. MC Duisburg is third in the league. SC Val is second in the league. Same thing as I said, tricky games. One thing interesting here, with these odds, MSV is expected to win 40%, but they actually win 55%. SC Val with these odds is expected to win 40%, but they actually perform poorly and win 35%. And therefore, I see that SC Val tends to perform poorly in this year, in these odds. So I'm assuming it will continue doing the same. And therefore, I'm settling on MSV Duisburg. But consider draw as well, or even an away win. Just do whatever you think is the result after your own analysis. So we have for this section 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. I didn't include many draws in this game, but as you know, draws may actually be many. So feel free to modify or abandon any games you think end up in a draw. Remember, betting on 15 games, the jackpot is 93 million. So winning 93 million is not even a crime. You don't have to struggle, you have to bet every game to target 113, whereas considering putting win 93 million and still walk away with it, even if it's a bonus of 2M or 10M, it's a win. A win is a win. So some of our basic is as follows: 212x 1222 xx12 12111. To subscribe, turn on notifications, and bet responsibly. See you and goodbye.